Hello and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, we are having a bright and early morning in Madrid. So if you watched the last vlog, you saw the horrible time that we had in Madrid. That was literally one of the most stressful days of my entire life, but also one of the best days because we got to go see Taylor Swift in concert. So we got back around midnight to our room. We probably went to sleep around 1 o'clock. I honestly don't know. And we had to wake up this morning we were supposed to wake up at 4 a.m. But due to our alarm clocks not properly being set, we woke up later than that, so we had to scramble around to get all of our stuff together. Thank goodness we did not unpack a lot when we were in this room because we knew we were obviously leaving the next day. We ended up leaving a little before 6 o'clock from our hotel so we could get to this train station. We chose Winfrey. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that's the train that we used, and we were set to leave at 7 a.m. that morning, where we would go to Barcelona and end up there at 9:30 in the morning. So I purchased these tickets back in April, and they were about 200 euros for both of us, and it was for first class tickets, which is why it was more expensive, and that did include breakfast. So thank goodness we didn't have to worry about having breakfast. So we were already off to a good start with that. And we just had a really peaceful morning on the train. As you can see, the beautiful scenery and the sunrise was just the perfect addition to this morning. We kind of got to relax, decompress from the show and getting in late and not really having a lot of sleep. I had already planned not really to take a nap, just kind of to relax on this, and this was just the perfect start to the day. My mom later said that this was one of her favorite parts of the trip. So these are the menus that we were given, and our meal consisted of some bread, fruit, butter, jelly, and mushrooms with a potato frittata, I believe. So the food was okay. It wasn't horrible, but it just wasn't what we were used to as Americans. But it wasn't that bad, honestly. We ended up picking seats that faced each other rather than sitting side by side, so I did kind of like that we kind of had a bigger table space to set all of our junk on. And you will see in a few more clips later all of the luggage that we had and how ridiculous it was. So once we got to Barcelona, it was fairly easy for us to find a taxi once we figured out where they were. They were kind of lined up on the side outside of the train station, and we were able to get one pretty quickly and go to our hotel, which was the Barcelona Renaissance Hotel. And the whole reason we went on this trip in the first place is because we were going on a Disney 9-night cruise on the Disney Dream. So this was truly a dream trip, and we chose this hotel because Disney's bus transportation would pick us up here and take us on the cruise the next day. So we figured the hotel had to be great, and it was. And this is all of our luggage that we brought. This is the view outside the window, and while I'm giving you this room tour, this is the bed, all our luggage. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags. That's the bed. Yesterday was not a good day until it was, but this is the bathroom. So this is a very nice hotel. I think it's the Barcelona Renaissance Hotel. But look, they've even got the good toilet paper. That was the first thing I said. Anyways, so it came with water. All of this was complimentary. That's Pepsi water. We think that's alcohol, so we're gonna skip that, and I may or may not drink the Pepsi. So in that last clip, you could probably hear how tired I was because that was actually a live clip. This was our lunch. It was a local bakery that was just around the corner from our hotel. That was some type of ham and cheese pizza, not my favorite. That sandwich was some type of ham and cheese sandwich, not the best, honestly, but it was food, so I was glad to have some food. Here we were just walking through Barcelona, and we just was looking in all the stores and everything. This was the McDonald's, and I felt the need to record it even though we didn't go in and get anything. And this was a place that the Gaudi who made the other places that we were about to go, he made this place. It's, if you can tell, like the mosaic in it was just beautiful. We did not go into the actual store, whatever it was, but we did go from afar. So this is outside of Park UL, and this was one of our favorite attractions. We booked this tour through Viator, I believe. I'll have to put a screenshot up here in a minute if I can figure out where I bought it from. And she just kind of took us through all this place, and you can see those rocks. They have not fell this whole time, and I remember her saying something about that. But it was just amazing seeing this area. Gaudi had originally chose this area to kind of have like a small community. Now the houses were very expensive, and that was one that he built. And because they were so expensive, that's why not many families bought into their community. And I believe they said that only one family still lived here and still had property in this area. But I believe the Barcelona city may have taken over this and kind of used it as like a tour place and like people where people could go and look, and obviously a tourist spot. There were also beautiful mosaics everywhere in this place. And this area was supposed to be kind of like the town square where people would meet each other and just kind of like have a town square. Now these seats were the most comfortable seats I have ever sat in. So keep in mind, this was built back in the 1920s or 30s, or I believe, I can't remember for sure. But you can see like the back support in this seat was phenomenal. You can see all the mosaics around. There was not a single area that was the same. I think they used broken glass plates and stuff to make all of this mosaics in here, but it was just so beautiful. In the view, you could see off into the ocean. And I believe this house over there was bought by a school and was used as a school for Barcelona. And so the reason he chose this area to build his little community was so he could look over and see the progress of the Sagrada de Familia, because that had been started when he was alive. I loved the mosaics that looked like faces, and this was not the only one. This area was supposed to be the marketplace where people who lived in this little community would come and like have a farmer's market. They could sell whatever they wanted to. It was covered, and the reason these were dome shaped, I believe it had something to do with water conservation. And if I'm not mistaken, these columns were built to store water. Now I could be wrong on that. This is just coming back from the memory of over a year ago. And these beautiful mosaics, it was just so cool to see all of this. These two houses were made to look like a gingerbread house based off of Hansel and Gretel, if I'm not mistaken. And if you've ever watched the Cheetah Girls, this is where they do some of their dancing. And the salamanders in entrances in Spain are supposed to bring good luck. Again, these mosaics are so beautiful. I took multiple pictures so I could have multiple backgrounds for my phone. I wish I would have took videos or pictures of the souvenir store, because it was actually in those gingerbread looking houses. I did only buy a pen to put on my pen board, and I wish I would have bought the Park UL shirt too. This area was right outside of Park UL, where we waited for our Free Now ride to come pick us up to take us to the Sagrada de Familia. So this was right outside of the Sagrada de Familia, and we had heard that pickpocketers would be kind of prevalent in touristy areas, areas, and especially right outside of those big attractions. We did unfortunately see some of those here in this area, and it's kind of funny because I came up with a code phrase that would kind of warn my mom without telling my mom directly that I could see a pickpocketer or someone kind of sketchy or something that I didn't like. And that phrase was, "Did you see the post that Nancy posted on Facebook the other day?" So that meant get out or do something else. Let's go somewhere else. We did have to use that a few times in this area. We did have a little bit before our tour started, so we just looked around the area and then we went to go get gelato. It was €9 for a medium and a small. It's very windy out. Our gelato, I would rate it a 4.39. Disney World is better in Italy. But we're about to go check in for the tour. This is how windy it is. This is the calmest it's been the whole time we were eating. So we're at the entrance. I don't know where we're supposed to go. That says groups over there because we are with a group, but not with a group. We did eventually have to go ask one of those guards standing under that umbrella what we needed to do because we booked this tour through the actual Sagrada de Familia website. So that included an English speaking tour and it included access to go up to the towers. I had purchased these tickets a month before and they were €78 for the both of us. Once we finally figured out where to go, we ended up having to go through a security type area, kind of like airport security. Had to put our bags in a thing, follow them through, walk through a metal detector, and we were set to go and find our tour group. And our tour group had a little headset that we had to wear, so once we were inside, because it was so loud and everything, we were just able to hear on the headset only. But walking in for the first time was breathtaking. Pictures, videos do not do this justice. It was so amazing to see these stained glass windows, the ceiling, how you can see like how dome shaped it was. It was just absolutely breathtaking. And it's weird to think that construction is still not completed on this facility. I believe it's going to be completed within the next few years, but I don't know that for sure. And because of the tour being through the headset, I don't remember much of the information that they gave us, unfortunately. It was so hard to take everything in because I felt like every corner we turned, everything she told us to look at was just something different and something that was truly, truly amazing. There were benches in the middle that people could sit down and listen to the music because at one point there was an organ playing, and I believe they still have mass here or still have some type of church services here. Again, look at the architecture in this building because it was truly, truly amazing. And later we will go into the museum that kind of tells how everything was built, and I will show a few things from that. And this was the back, and you can see the scenes that were depicting Jesus's life and what he had to go through. And this is the timeline of the Sagrada de Familia that also included part of Gaudi's life and construction of other things that he was working on. This is a replica of what the Sagrada de Familia is going to look like, I believe. In this museum, there were a lot of small models that projected what some of the areas of the towers and everything were going to look like once completed. These were some of Gaudi's famous works and designs that he has built in his lifetime. This I just thought was a beautiful painting of Barcelona and the Sagrada de Familia. So this is me going up the stairs to the towers, and what we done is you had to first go up the elevator, and once you go up the elevator, there's no return back down to the ground floor. You have to take all these stairs, and I guess the first section was me going up the stairs to this area that looked out in all directions around the Sagrada de Familia, and you can see me looking through each little window. So my mom is a little scared of heights, and also she don't have to walk down 400-ish stairs. So I went up here by myself, and it was actually really very interesting to see kind of like a bird's eye view of Barcelona, because this was pretty high up, and you'll see as we go on, you kind of go down the stairs and there's like little points that you can go and look off and see another part of Barcelona and see the towers. So according to Google that I just looked up, the Passion Towers, which are the one that I chose to go and look at, that shows more views of the city center, whereas the Nativity Tower is another one that you could have went and visited, and that showed the eastern side of Barcelona. So as you can see, we're going down these stairs. It's a little skinny, and you can kind of see not how we're going down and everything, and it was just so pretty up there. Got tons of pictures and videos. So here you can see some of the other things that they're putting on. I don't know if these are towers, but all the fruits and stuff is so pretty. So, one thing that I wish I would have done differently, or that we could have had, or that I could have had, is to have an actual tour guide going with us up to the towers, because I feel like that would have been a lot more valuable. I could have learned a lot more about the towers in this area, and just to see like some of the history of Barcelona. I think that would have been really neat. So, about this time is when I ran into this family going down the stairs, and the mom was absolutely terrified. And of course, the kids were trying to make jokes and do some things, and you'll see in just a little bit what some of the stairs look like towards the end. It's more of a spiral staircase, and it has no railing or anything on your right side. So it was a bit iffy. I could see where the mom was a little scared. See, like right here, is that spiral staircase, and in a few seconds I will show what it kind of looks like in the middle. But they were doing probably exactly what I would have been doing to my mom, so I can't say anything about that. So after going down all of these stairs, I went and found my mom sitting on one of the benches. We got one last look at the beautiful stained glass windows, and we went to try to find something for supper. We did go back to the hotel. We walked the streets a little bit. At this time, it's probably 6 or 7 o'clock. We ended up talking to one of the front desk people who recommended this restaurant, and that is Sprite and Coke. Those are fried zucchini chips, and this is just proof that we got Sprite and Coke. That was really good shrimp. That is mushrooms with an egg yolk in the middle. I did eat that. That is some bread with tomato. And that was like a steak with pepper on toasted bread. This next thing, I don't really know what it is, and I think I need to keep it that way because I'm very picky. These were churros with chocolate sauce, and those were chef's kiss. And that chocolate sauce was delicious. So this meal was about 54 euros, I believe, and the name of it was Vanitas. It was really good, and I would probably go back there again if I'm ever in Barcelona. And these were some little dogs outside playing. So before we went back to the room and got ready for bed, we stopped by the store that was basically like a big Target dollar section. So the whole store was just little things that you could find in the Target dollar section. So we looked through all of this. It was really cool though. At this time, it was probably 7:30 or later, so it was really time for us to go to bedtime, especially after not getting a lot of sleep in the past 2 or 3 days. And so we went back to the room, got ready for bed, went to sleep, and had some of the best sleep ever because we were so exhausted. And so I think I'm going to close out the vlog here because obviously I didn't film any of myself because I just didn't, and that's what most of this series is going to be like. So if you like this video, you want to see more of us on embarkation day and more throughout the cruise, keep watching, and please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank y'all for watching.